Jang Jag, just a nice guy, just an average guy. And with today's video, we got to be very honest here about what men want from women, which they're called modern women in 2022. Men do want relationships. Most men want relationships. They want to settle down, they want to start a family, and they just want cooperation. And they're even okay with dealing with partnerships. That's what lots of guys are looking for. But they're not getting it. They're not getting cooperation. And some guys are confused as to why it's not happening. Why it's so difficult. Why is it that you try and then you feel so inadequate? So I'm going to give three reasons why having a female in today's modern society, it's quite difficult. It's a unique challenge that some guys have to realize what the challenge is. And I'm here to talk about three issues why modern women in today's society no longer can make great wives, on what most men need, not want, but need. So I broke it down into three. Number 3, good with money. Females used to be amazing with money. As a whole, let me repeat this. Females as a whole used to be great with money. Are there females right now who are great with money? Yes, they are. But let's keep it a buck. When females would get the opportunity to manage the family money, you know what they would do? They would manage it correctly. Something as simple as checking the weekly flyers that come, seeing the sales, seeing where they could get discounts on food. These small things. It's technical. Because today, females don't do that. Just the simple grocery coupons would save the family literally hundreds of dollars in groceries per month. And literally over 1,000 in a year. Females were good at balancing the checkbook because they would get the checkbook. And by the end of the month, it would be balanced. They were the family banker. The man would go out and do all the working. He would give her the paycheck and she would manage it. So it's not like back in the days, females had no access to money. They still had to go grocery shopping. They still had to get clothes done. Females were more part of the family. They used to have to manually wash and dry all the clothes. They would have to make sure when school time comes, they have budgeted money for school clothes, for pencils, for books. Females were great and excellent at doing that. The number 2 reason why females today are not really fit to be wives and why guys have such a difficult time is females have gotten way more expensive. A date 50 years ago, it was all about going out for ice cream, going to the movies. Tickets cost like $3 for one ticket. So you got $3 ticket, 75 cents for popcorn. You get 2 sodas, right? You're looking at the $7.75 for an entire date. Compared to, let's say, the inflation for 2022, that would be like spending $23.70 on a female today. That's compared to 50 years ago. If you spend $23.70 is literally you going to McDonald's and both you guys getting a combo. That's how bad it's gotten with the way how everything costs, which means having a female in your life, it's going to cost you a lot more money. And back in those days, the females, when you went to pick them up, you would have to be introduced to her father, her mother, and possibly brothers who are there. You would meet the whole family. The father would tell you, I want her back at X amount of time. And when the date was done, it was very classy. There was none of this talking about, are we going to smash or what? No. Because the only thing that you'd consider as getting smashed is your head if you did not bring her back on time as her father was waiting for you by the door. Today's society, females are looking for a 4- or 5-star restaurant. You pick her up at her mom's place. She wants a dinner date, plus she wants to go to an after party. She's not looking at how much money you're spending. She's not worried about the costs because in her mind, she feels that she is worth it. and she needs to be treated like a queen. The whole queen mindset has been horrible, especially for the black community. Horrible. And I'm actually going to do a separate video on that on this channel. Back to the expense. If you start out dinner dates, paying these prices, let's just say something as small as $100 a date. You take her out on 3 dates. She appreciates it. She's going to keep wanting more dates. Think about that. $300 a month. $3,600 a year. Plus, you got to remember Valentine's Day. You got to remember her birthday. You got to remember Christmas. You got to remember New Year's Eve. And the dates never stop coming. And then, oh, it's our annual anniversary, our 2-month anniversary. The dates never stop coming. And she's not going to expect less. She won't. The woman will literally let you spend money until you're broke, because she will not, in today's society, she will not say, you know what? We can't be spending money on this. You know what? We got to stop going out to dinner dates. Why don't we start cooking at home? Let's go to the grocery store and I want to cook a meal for you, or we could cook a meal together. That doesn't exist no more. The woman does not, she doesn't know how to say no. She's going to make you spend till you are broke, and then you got to start taking out cash loans and doing whatever you can, doing overtime to please her. Like I said, dating for me, it's almost like it's a wrap. And when you really think about it, you could spend all this money, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a year, and you're an average guy. So that is a lot of money for you to be spending on a female per year, when you could be investing that money. Because the odds of her after a year, or even after 6 months, after a year, after 2 years, of saying, you know what, this is not working out for me and I want more, all because you started leading with your wallet. Because when you start taking out women out for expensive dates, or you try to impress them with money, that's the only thing they're really looking at. They're going to be like, oh, wow, you did A, you did B, and that's all right. But she's expecting other things. She's expecting C. She's expecting D, if you know what D I'm talking about. So once you start those expectations of spending all this money, all you're doing is creating heartache for yourself. Because when the day comes and she says, you know what, I'm just not happy, all that money of investment was just wasted. And how are you going to feel after that? Okay, the number one reason why females are not great and fit to be wives in 2022, there are too many females coming from broken homes with no father figure. I can relate to this situation with my ex-wife. I came from a family-oriented home. My father did all the working literally 12 hours a day, sometimes 60, 70 hours a week. My mom was a homemaker. She stayed at home all the way until my youngest sister turned 10, and then she re-entered the workforce, as you now have 4 kids who literally can take care of themselves. So they had a perfect relationship where things were balanced, things were discussed. My dad would make the final decision about a lot of things, but they would work on it together. That's how a team works. A team works when everyone knows their positions and they play it. I, on the other hand, I made the mistake on me coming from a family unit, try to join someone who's not in a family unit. And that turned out to be nothing but a great disaster, because now you can see the lack of discipline. You could see the lack of just following leadership, because this is not ruling with an iron fist. It's you saying, hey, listen, by the way, if we want to get to this destination, there are certain things we're going to have to do. And then when you don't have that structured family growing up, when someone's telling you something for the first time that you need to sacrifice and you need to show discipline, right? And you need to show accountability, all of a sudden they're taking it as an attack on everything they thought was okay in their life. Because when you're coming from an unstructured, broken home, it's sometimes so easy to tell, because you'll see the lack of accountability, the lack of discipline, the lack of leadership, right? You'll see these things, and you'll start saying to yourself, like, how could you not know this? And it's really horrible the way how things are are happening now in 2022. The fact that women do not want to cook for their husband, and it's now a social media trend by, you're not his mother. It's a horrible excuse. So for the guy paying all the family bills, does that now make his girlfriend or wife his daughter and he's the father? No, it's called provision. When a man says, hey, by the way, spending $1,000 on one pair of shoes, no, you should not do that. Females say, oh, that's misogyny. That's toxic masculinity. No, it's called wisdom, as there are better things to invest in. When a wife wants to go on girl trips, or she wants to have all these girls night out, there's not a ton of guys trips, and there's not a ton of guys going out, dudes night out. Not for married guys. Those guys are usually at home, or they're home with their families. They're not going on all these guy trips. I know for someone who's a motorcycle rider, there are lots of guys who will come riding, and then literally by 5 o'clock, it's time for them to go home. And we're like, wait, we could ride till 9 p.m. It's like, nope, gotta go home. So they're gone. But then on the other side, when girls go on their girls trips, and their girls night out, me as a bouncer for 20 years, I've seen the way how these married women or women in relationships, they act when they're out and they get alcohol introduced into their system. It's appalling. These married women should be at home. They should be calling at night, literally from like, if you go out, oh, your friend's birthday party, you say a happy birthday, blah, blah, blah. By like 9, 10 o'clock, that's when you should be getting your stuff ready, heading for the door. Or you should even say, you know what, I'm going to bring my husband with me. Or if he doesn't want to go, yeah, you should be heading through the door. Ladies, it was a fun night. Nope, these ladies continue to stay. They'll stay till 1 o'clock. And as a bouncer, I always say whatever happens after 1 o'clock is usually not good. You should always try to go out and leave wherever you're going to the club by 1, because after 1 o'clock, when you're still drinking, it never turns out pretty. So much mistakes have been made that way. And when you have a bunch of females who have been drinking, they're having their girls' night out, I can't tell you the amount of women that just come up to bouncers will tell you this. Man, I'm horny. I need some D right now. Oh man, I wish my husband had something bigger than his small, minuscule, mini package. Any bouncer who has bounced in nightclubs, bars, or restaurants, they'll tell you these stories about how certain wives basically talk about their husband. And it was so funny, I would think, how comes I don't hear a bunch of husbands or a bunch of boyfriends who are out and they're basically denigrating their partner who's at home taking care of their kids? This is something I probably have never heard this in my 20 years of bouncing. A lot of this stems from having poor male role models in their lives. And the direction that we're going in, all this, where does it lead? You have both boy and girls growing up with a void. Right now, we have so much mental illness, depression, addictions, autism, suicide, criminal activity, teenage births, drug and alcohol abuse. Now, a lot of this could be directly related to the lack of having a quality father in their life growing up. You could see it. Anyone with half a brain could know that there's certain ways that a father handles things different from a mother, that growing up, you're going to have this massive void. You know, a lot of people feel this void with social media. They feel this void with social media. And even, like I'm saying, a lot of females, they're more addicted to social media than us. They're even forcing their kids to try and make videos so that their mothers can get views. That is like getting to a sickening point. I don't know. I just gave you the 3 reasons. And honestly, just going over them is mind-boggling, man. It's mind-boggling. It's scared. And we don't know what's happening next. We're going in a not so great direction. And the only thing that could bring it back is by bringing back the family structure. That was basically the boulder and the glue to society that we need to bring back. Jang Jag, just a nice guy, just an average guy. That's just my thoughts, and I'm just